moving in me. I'm gonna sing to the world its perfect melody. Give agape love that I feel in my heart. Yes, Spirit's moving in me. Spirit's dancing in you. Spreading peace and joy to make the world new. Give agape love that you feel in your heart. Spirit's dancing in you. Let Spirit flow through your heart and soul. The more you give, the more it overflows. Let go and let God, let your love grow. Then pass it around, we'll let everybody know that Spirit's moving in me. I'm gonna sing to the world its perfect melody. Oh, give agape love that I feel in my heart. Spirit's moving in me. Oh, sing it now. The Spirit's moving in me. Spirit's moving in me. Yeah. A little bit more.
A bit more.
Let Spirit flow through your heart and soul. The more you give, the more it overflows. Let go and let God, let your love grow. Then pass it around, gonna let everybody know that the Spirit's moving in me. I'm gonna sing to the world its perfect melody. Give agape love that I feel in my heart. Yeah, Spirit's moving in me. Oh yeah, Spirit's moving in me. Yeah, Spirit's moving in me. Yeah.
Please join me in prayer. We know that there's one perfect life, that life is God. That life belongs to each and every one of us here in this space. It is perfect, whole and complete in form and substance, just as God is, just as we are by divine design. And we give thanks for the opportunity to come together and share about walking on the edge of life, knowing that everything we endeavor to do is divinely guided and inspired, that we have an unlimited source to tap into. It is our being. We know that all that we do is supported by this Spirit. No matter what conditions may appear in our lives, this unlimited and omnipotent source of being, all present, all knowing, guides us. There's no need to be afraid. And we come together today to celebrate the fact that we have a faith in the power that is always here. And it expands according to our faith. We're so happy for this. We give thanks for everyone who's come together to make this service possible, for all who are here to celebrate our oneness in that great light. And I know that everything that takes place here today will be absolutely perfect as Spirit speaks through young Dr. David and gives us guidance, support, and hope, knowing that we can accomplish anything through that divine source, through Spirit, when it comes to making a world that works for everyone. I give thanks for every expression of the divine here, within the sound of my voice, in the city of Aurora, state of Colorado, United States of America, planet Earth, and the entire universe, because we are all one. And I release these words into the law where it is already done in that divine universal mind. I let this go, I let it be. Together we affirm, and so it is. And so I've been digging around, and our founder, the honorable doctor on this home, said so many nuggets. I found 3. The first one is, when you and I shall cease looking outside ourselves to any person and shall realize that whatever truth and whatever power we shall have must flow through us. Our second, your consciousness is one with omnipotence. Your thought is infinite. Your destiny is eternal, and your home is everlasting heaven. Realize the truth. I am living in a perfect universe. It always was perfect and always will be perfect. There never was a mistake made. There are no mistakes being made, and there never will be. I live in the great and eternal universe of perfection from cause and effect, from beginning to end. The world's all right, and I know it. Our third inspiration says, do not wish to live in a perfect world, peopled by friends who love you, surrounded by all that is beautiful and pleasing. Is this what you wish? Do you wish to have the good things in life? There is but one way, and that way is as sure as the sun shines. Forget all else and think only upon what you want. Control all thought that denies the real, and as the mist disappears before the sun, so shall all adversity melt before the shining radiance of your own exalted thought.
Good afternoon, New Dawn. There's a lot going on in our world, and you are here, and we are grateful. My gosh, we kicked off the Olympic Winter Games on Friday. 93 countries represented, including several athletes marching as independent athletes, marching under the banner of the International Olympic Committee. Since Russia and Belarus are banned from the games, but their athletes are not. And of course, the Super Bowl today. I know everybody's very excited to see Bad Bunny at halftime. Oh my gosh, not quite sure what to expect, but I think it's pretty awesome. And rumor has it a football game is going to break out, and you know we're all very happy. And it's Valentine's week, hence my shirt. Thank you very much for noticing. Life is good, and we have so many choices. And on this day, and today, we choose to be together. And that is so good. For those of you who have been here much longer than I, welcome back. For those of you who are joining us fairly regularly now, thank you. For those of you perhaps online who are considering joining us, you are always welcome here. When the timing is perfect, we know we will see you in our congregation in person. So we're continuing with our monthly theme of embracing the edge. And what does that look like? And what does that feel like for us? And last week, we kicked off by talking about the inner edge and how we know that everything is created twice, once in mind and then once in reality. This week, we're talking about walking the edge of life. With that first word, it kind of tips off where we're going, yeah? Walking. That we, while many of us value meditation and we value prayer, we don't all have the opportunity to, forgive the overused metaphor, to sit in a cave and meditate most of the day. Many of us are engaged in other things. And Spirit would say, and Ernest Holmes would say, that's not only a good thing, that is necessary. So hence we're talking about walking, right? We've heard it said we get to treat and move our feet. We get to pray and take action. So that's what we're talking about. What does it look like when we're ready to move from that place of grounding and spirituality and carry that forward into our lives? How do we implement that? How do we do that when sometimes it might be hard, and sometimes people around us might not be interested in our spirituality, however we choose to define that. So what we know, my friends, is spiritual living means showing up, even when it's hard. What does it look like to live my truth when it feels risky or uncomfortable? This week, we're looking at the outer expression of our inner edge, where values become visible. Oh my gosh, people might actually get a sense of what I think and what I believe and what I want and what I'm calling in. So what I know is I live my truth even beyond my comfort zone. When I was a little one, probably not much bigger than Sarah, I loved the song that was on TV. It started just as a song, but then it was quickly bought up and made part of a marketing campaign. Does anybody remember, and I don't even remember, they were like the New World Singers or something, I'd like to teach the world to sing. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. Grow apple trees and honey bees and snow white turtle doves. Thank you, Ken. Oh my gosh, pick a key, David, any key, and Ken has you. Yeah, so that's exactly right. So that was written by Roger Cook and Roger Greenaway, and it was published in 1971. And to their credit, they made a little money on their work when they sold it to Coke. I'd like to buy the world a Coke and, all of that good stuff. So the tie for me is, in The Essential, Ernest Holmes, our founder, invites us to think of the whole world as your friend. But you must also be a friend to the whole world. There's the rub. In this way, and with this simple practice, you will draw to you so many friends that the time will be too short to enjoy them all. Holmes continues, refuse to see the negative side of anyone. Refuse to let yourself misunderstand or be misunderstood. Do not be morbid. Know that everyone wants you to have the best. Really? Everyone wants you to have the best. Affirm this wherever you go, and then you will find things just as you wish them to be. So we know walking the edge of life means showing up for the truth that lives within each one of us and allowing that truth to move through us in real and visible and visceral ways that we can feel it and we know it to be true even when it's risky. The great Howard Thurman also reminds us that our inner insights are not meant to stay hidden. They are meant to be achieved in the deed, as he writes. Science of Mind says that our thoughts and beliefs shape reality, but it also calls us into right action, embodying the values we affirm, living as if our vision for the world is already true. Again, treat and move your feet, pray and take action. To live our truth beyond comfort means to look past fear of misunderstanding or rejection and to act as a friend to the whole world, as Holmes urges. This week's theme challenges us. Can we hold that inner steady rhythm of life and still step into situations that require courage, vulnerability, or even sacrifice? Walking the edge means leaning into the space between safety and growth, where faith becomes lived experience. So my experience with that this week, I try to practice what I preach at least some of the time. My experience with that, if we are connected on social media, on Facebook, my goal, my passion, my mission is to provide informational thoughts and ideas, just to get people to continue to think and embrace their magnificence. And this week, I strayed from my own mission. I strayed from that. There was something that just struck me. I'm very clear in what I think and what I know and what I believe with regard to politics and some of the things that are happening in the world. I also believe that you get to think and believe what you choose to think and believe, and you don't necessarily need to hear that from me every Sunday from up here. And yet this week, something struck a nerve, and I reached out and I chose to post with regard to I don't know if you saw the exchange between His Holiness Pope Leo and the Speaker of the United States House of Representatives. Speaker Johnson was literally debating the Bible with the Pope. I'm really sorry, my friends, I couldn't let that one go. And so I chose to engage, and I tried to provide some information, and I chose to provide some context, and I shared something like, I am not a biblical scholar. I love the Bible. I know a lot about the Bible. I do not consider myself a biblical scholar. I'm not a biblical scholar, nor do I identify as a Catholic. And in this circumstance, I'm going with the Pope. And you all are kind, and you are demonstrative, and you are gregarious. And I had some people make some really interesting comments on that post of mine. And for me, that was what this is talking about. It was a little uncomfortable. You know, I'm not at my best when I'm in the middle of conflict. That's just not where I shine. And I chose to engage that. And one fellow, who I don't even know, somehow he's commenting on my Facebook post, and he's like, well, why aren't you standing up? We need people to stand up at this point in our country. And I simply responded, my page, my choice. I get to do what I want on my Facebook page. And so that was, and there was some give and take there. And for me, that was, that showed a little bit of vulnerability for me. So that is what we were talking about there. So as we continue to engage then, what it looks like to live outwardly, to live our faith. When we live our truth, we inevitably encounter moments of discomfort. Have any of you been there with me, or am I making this one up? It might mean speaking up when silence feels easier. It might mean standing firm in values that others don't yet understand or perhaps never will, or showing kindness when cynicism would be safer. As a collective, we can ask, what does it look like to stay faithful to our inner compass when the path is steep or rocky? What does it look like? So I wanted to share with you, I've shared that I had the experience of touring with the musical group Up With People right out of high school. And so while on tour in Up With People, I had the great pleasure of performing with the then Denver Symphony Orchestra in the brand new Betcher Concert Hall. The whole DCPA was so new that there was no landscaping, there were no fountains, there was no sculpture. I literally drove up in my little Ford Maverick, and I parked right at the steps that are west-facing out of the DCPA, and went in and joined my cast, and we performed with the Denver Symphony. It was a proud moment for me, this 18-year-old from Broomfield, Colorado, with very little singing and dancing experience. I tell you that freely and authentically. And I loved what we were doing. I loved the mission of Up With People. That Up With People was created to build bridges of communication and understanding between the different people, countries, and cultures of the world. And this was my chance to perform with 120 of my castmates in my hometown for my folks and for our extended family and friends, and anybody else in the city who bought a ticket. So I was very excited about that conversation. And the symphony was amazing, and Betcher performing in the round is such a different experience for anybody who's ever performed. And in a review the following week, one of our local newspapers that I think is still around, Westward Newspaper, as part of their critique of our performance, labeled us musical wonder bread. And it was not intended to be a compliment. And they're entitled to their opinion, and life goes on, right? And that was one of my first experiences in standing in my truth and doing what I knew to be right and doing what I knew to be true, and somebody disagreed with me. Right? And so now we've built a few calluses, and we continue to do what we do and believe in what we believe in. And what we also know, my friends, is that science of mind is not only a teaching of ideas, it is a teaching of embodiment. You've all heard from these podiums many times from ministers and beings who are sharing messages that Ernest Holmes said frequently that he would rather have one person living the teaching than have 10,000 people who understood it at a thinking level and could talk about it all day long. He was all about putting it into action. He reminds us to refuse to see the negative side of anyone. And my friends, that refusal is not passive. It takes courage to hold love and goodwill in situations where frustration or fear might otherwise lead. Walking the edge of life means practicing this, seeing good where it isn't obvious, and living from that vision anyway, right? Isn't that what being a person of faith means? And isn't that what being a person of fear means? Both are believing in something that we can't see. You choose. I had, while I was on that tour with Up With People, I had the opportunity to live with host families in 8 countries on 3 continents. And one of my most vivid and memorable host families, I'll shorten it down just a little bit. We had our host family pickup, where host families came with signs and numbers, and we had a little card, and we went up and introduced ourselves. And this family was lovely, and the whole family was there, and it was a small town in Mexico. And all of our fellow cast members are loading their luggage into cars, and the cars are taking off. And our host family is just standing there looking at us, and we're holding our bags, and we start walking. And so we're walking to their house, right? And we're in our travel day clothes, our dressier clothes. And we walk. It wasn't a terribly long walk. It was probably 1.5 miles, 2 miles, and it was hot, and we were in layers. And we got to their home, and it was a Spanish-speaking, a fellow who identified as Mexican, and me staying with this family. And the family, there was really only one rule with regard to lodging and up with people. And it was that every cast member had their own bed, right? And back in that day, guys stayed with guys and women stayed with women, so it was separated by gender. And everybody needed their own bed. And our host family walked us through the house to their back patio. And we kind of had our own bed. We had our own hammocks on the patio. And the rule was, unless you're in danger, don't call to have anybody fix this, right? We weren't in danger. We sensed that it probably wasn't, we weren't going to be as comfortable as we could have been otherwise. But we weren't in danger, so we're like, okay, we'll go with it. So we changed our clothes, we went inside. The family was kind enough to provide us dinner. And again, the whole family is sitting around the table. There's nothing on any of their places. My colleague and I, my fellow cast member, they have plates in front of us. They're feeding us, and none of them are eating. And the first thing that they bring out is fish heads. And again, you know, if it's not dangerous, eat it. It's part of the experience. And my buddy is speaking to them in Spanish, and I'm just doing my dumb American smile. And he somehow told them, that he was allergic to fish, or he wasn't going to be eating the fish head. So now, my buddy's throwing me under the bus, and I'm just sitting there again, being this ignorant American. And I'm really sorry. I just couldn't do it. And whatever I said, whatever they heard, I gently pushed it away, and I don't mean to offend anybody. And all of a sudden, the whole family started laughing. And they were like, we were wondering if you were going to do that. So that is, standing in my truth, right? I wasn't trying to be mean. I wasn't trying to start an international incident. I just couldn't do it. And I don't know if they would have let me actually eat it or not, but it was a learning experience. The third thing I would share with you then is there is an edge between private belief and public action, yeah? And that is what I was trying to do, again, with my Facebook post. Many of us find comfort in our spiritual insights and hesitate to bring them into a visible expression for whatever reason. And so this week, we're asking to cross that edge, to let what we know inwardly guide us to what we do outwardly. What would it mean if every act, every conversation, every choice became a simple sacrament, as Thurman writes? So again, during my time with people, I had the opportunity to perform for princes and paupers and royalty and the downtrodden, in rodeo grounds, in ice arenas, in magnificent concert halls. And my challenge to myself in every circumstance was meeting with people where they are. Whether it was the little 1-year-old in a crib in a hospital in Mexico City, singing the song, "What Color is God's Skin?" in Spanish. And as you know, I can't sing. And as you know, I don't speak Spanish. And yet, this connection with this little 1-year-old, it didn't seem to matter. So the biggest opportunity I had during my time in Up With People, or perhaps the most recognizable, was when Up With People had 5 different groups of about 120 students each touring the world at any given time. 4 of the groups came together in Pasadena, California in January of 1980 to perform at halftime of Super Bowl 14. So yes, I led the way for Bad Bunny. And there's actually a little recap in here, it just made me smile, about all of the previous halftimes. And actually, Up With People is the only group to have performed at 4 different Super Bowl halftimes. Well, Up With People performed at halftime of Super Bowl 10, and then our group performed at halftime of Super Bowl 14. Up With People performed 2 years later at halftime of Super Bowl 16, and then one more time by the end of that decade. And modestly, as a lover of the organization, Up With People is really the group that helped the NFL transition from college marching bands in the first 9 Super Bowls, right? It was a big football game, but nobody knew how big. So they invited college marching bands. That's just what you did for halftime. And then Up With People was the first production at Super Bowl 10, and then we helped the NFL transition to the era of the megastars of today. So yeah, here in People magazine, it says, the sounds of the 60s in Detroit, 430 Up With People singers tackled a medley from the decade of the Beatles and Motown. And there's our picture right there with all the other stars. So now you have a sense of my love of Up With People and my love of Super Bowl halftime. And I wouldn't want to just tease you about that. But the other things that struck me about that experience is my dad. God bless my dad. My mom was on an international trip with her cousin, and my dad drove from Denver to Pasadena to watch me perform at halftime in the Super Bowl. And I still remember him giving me a big hug, and he was so proud. And he said, "Pal, I always knew one of my boys would make it to the Super Bowl. I just didn't think it would be halftime." And I said, "Dad, I love you." And I got closer than the other 2. So I wanted to share that with you. We spent 3 weeks performing, 400 of us, working on the formations, working on the costumes, working on the songs and the dances, coordinating with the Goodyear blimp. There were no individual drones at the time, so any aerial footage that you may see was coordinated from the blimp. So with your permission, my friends, again, thank you, Travis, thank you, Ken, by way of breaking in some of our new equipment. I offer you Up With People, Super Bowl 14 halftime, the Rams versus the Steelers. Cheryl Ladd kicked it off by singing the national anthem. And here's our halftime performance. Just a few minutes. I'll be right back with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, for our halftime spectacular, the National Football League is proud to welcome back Up With People, an exciting educational and cultural program known around the world. We saw them at Super Bowl 10 in Miami, and this afternoon, 3 of their international casts with students from 23 countries will give a special salute to the music and the energy of the fabulous swing era. Now, here they are, Up With People. feel that energy in the music of the great swing era, when the big bands really turned it on. Here in Southern California, dancing at the Palladium or under the palm trees in the Coconut Grove was a thing to do on Saturday night.
Mopping up soda pop rickies to our heart's delight. Dancing the swing through quickies, jukebox Saturday night. Goodman, Kaiser, and Miller helped to make things right. Mixing hot licks, vanilla, jukebox Saturday night.
Don't sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. No, 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 just remember that I've been true to nobody else but you. So just be true to everyone's uncle and cousin.
Wardrobe malfunction.
Without buzzing. Let's play for 6,500.
Sweetie, I know that.
Someone who's sexy and clothing gives me the sweetest hello there. Let's play for 6,500. Oh, oh, oh. Gonna take a sentimental journey. Gonna set my heart at ease. Gonna make a sentimental journey to renew old memories.
Listening to Glenn Miller, the Andrews Sisters, and Tommy Dorsey always brings back sentimental memories. But no journey through the swing era would be complete without plugging into another source of power that was always being tapped.
It's trouble to just be happy. Chase all your cares away. Sing hallelujah, come on, get happy. Get ready for the judgment day. Sunshine, come on, get happy. The Lord's waiting to take your hand. Sing hallelujah, come on, get happy. We're going to the promised land.
And it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Do-ah, 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 do-ah. It makes no difference if it's sweet or hot. Just give that rhythm everything you got. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Do-ah, 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 do-ah.
The energy would always come surging through the line when you heard Carmen Miranda say, "Let's conga."
Trev. It goes on for a little while longer, but you get the idea. Did you see me? I was in the striped shirt. I was by exploding palm tree number 423. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun as we all reflect on our memories. And one of my friends who you saw there went on to become the nanny to the Queen of Denmark. The Carmen Miranda is actually my friend Eileen Senna from Pueblo, Colorado. And and Rick and I had dinner with so many friends and colleagues at reunions over the years. So that, for me, my friends, was my first experience of living out loud. And yeah, call me musical Wonder Bread. I guess I'll put it on a t-shirt and I'm okay with that. So, if you would please, you know what, before we do that, I just want to share with you the 3 ways that we put that thinking into action at New Dawn. We practice spiritual courage. We don't wait until we feel completely ready or certain before we act. We choose courage over comfort. We trust that growth often happens on the edge, where faith stretches us beyond what we can already know. The second thing we do here is we celebrate collective effort, not just individual wins. Whether in spiritual community or the wider world, we honor teamwork, collaboration, and shared purpose. We remember that none of us gets to the finish line alone, and that community itself is a sacred practice. And finally, we show up with full hearts. We bring our whole selves, our doubts, our hopes, our joy, into this space, like athletes stepping into competition or artists stepping onto a stage. We show up willing to give our best, knowing that presence itself is a powerful offering. If you would please join me in prayer. If our practitioners would stand and join me in consciousness as well. Spirit of life, we give thanks for moments that call us to the edge, moments that ask for courage, commitment, and heart. As the world gathers this weekend around great games and global celebrations, we remember that beyond the scoreboards and the ceremonies, what truly inspires us is the willingness to show up fully, to train, to trust, to try, and to begin again. As athletes take the field in the Super Bowl, and as nations come together for the Olympic Winter Games, may we be reminded of what is possible when discipline meets devotion, when individual gifts serve a greater whole. May we carry that same spirit into our own lives, meeting our edges with faith, our challenges with perseverance, and our becoming with great joy. We affirm that we are supported, guided, and inspired as we live boldly into the next perfect expression of who we are. I simply release, I let go, I allow it to be. And we anchor this together by saying, and so it is, and so I am, and so we are.
Saying yes, yes, yes to life. I'm saying yes, yes, yes to life. I'm saying yes, yes, yes to life. I'm saying yes, yes, yes. I'm saying yes to life. Yes time, yes to life. Right now, yes, yes. Spirit of love within me is expressing itself right now. The spirit of joy within me is expressing itself right now. What are we gonna create today? The universe is ready to play. Spirit surely will lead the way if you just say yes. I'm saying yes, yes, yes to life. I'm saying yes, yes,
Yes.
yes to life. I'm saying yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes to life. I'm saying yes, 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 yes. I'm saying yes to life. I'm saying yes to life. Yeah, right here, right now. The spirit of life within me is expressing itself right now. The spirit of light within me is expressing itself right now. Whatsoever you can see, if you believe it, you can achieve it. Universe will always agree if you just say yes.